What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Bling Talks, sponsored by Once Insurance. Today we have a very special guest, Chad Verhoff. He is the CEO of Jackson Gray Jewelers, a brand that redefines fine jewelry, definitely with a focus on craftsmanship, modern elegance, and definitely a personalized experience. Chad's built definitely a destination high-end jewelry experience, blending tradition with innovation. And definitely in this episode, we are going to be exploring his journey, insight into the luxury jewelry market, and how he created a very, very high-end, unique, custom experience. Chad, thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it. Look forward to meeting you, man.
Thanks for having me on. Likewise.
Absolutely, man. So just kind of start out by telling us who you are, where you are.
Sure thing. So my name is Chad Verhoff. I am the owner of Jackson Gray Jewelers here in Chagrin Falls, Ohio, just outside of Cleveland. We've been in this location for a little over 10 years, but I've been in the industry going on my 37th year. My family, it's been a long journey, for sure, but I've enjoyed it and made a lot of great contacts and friends along the way. I started when I was 14. My family was not in the industry, so I was able to go to Chicago and have a European apprenticeship on Wabash. I went to school at GIA in Santa Monica in the early 90s, bounced around back and forth to a couple big cities and ended up in Cleveland in 97. So it's been a fun ride.
Wow, man. So when did you go to well, usually when we have people on here, they've definitely been in the business, or their dad or their family was business.
Sure.
A lot of people are family. So you just kind of took a liking to this, or what kind of sparked that I love jewelry thing?
So literally when I was 14, my mom brought me to our local jeweler and they had a little shop in the back. I was able to go back there and I saw that a guy was casting. He had a huge torch. Another guy was fixing a dent in a silver tray. And I thought, wow, this is just a cool experience. My grandfather was a shoemaker, an Italian shoemaker. So, you always went to, grandpa's shop and you always had tools and there are always guys getting dirty with aprons on. And so I always had a love for the shop side of things and the creative aspect. So when I walked into that jewelry store, I really was like, man, you're using a whole different set of skills. They were building relationships with clients that I had never seen before, knowing that my parents went there and we all went there. That's where my family shopped for jewelry. So there was a major connection that I'd never seen that before in any other business in that young age. And it resonated. And so other than a paper route I had for as a kid, this is the only thing I've ever done. So it's been a lot of fun.
That's amazing. So tell us, how'd you go, you kind of built a business from scratch here. It's very cool. And I think a lot of people want to do that in their lives, but they don't really know what that looks like and what it takes. So, I'm sure you've had lots of challenges to sit in the seat that you're sitting in right now. I guess I would ask, what's kind of the biggest challenge in launching jewelers? What was one of your biggest challenges?
Timing was a major issue. Clearly, I'd been doing this for a long time. I was a master jeweler for a number of different large stores, 100-year-old businesses, Potter and Mellon Jewelers here in Cleveland, one of the most affluent, businesses, jewelry stores of the area. I worked for another company in Atlanta, which was a very high-end boutique store. So for people that are getting into it, I feel personally that you've got to cut your teeth working at places first that allow you to establish your craftsmanship. Because to just go out and start and do something, it's a major risk. Financially, family wise, stress levels, they're all peaking. For me personally, I was working for another store. And it was actually during the financial recession of '08 and through 12. Everyone got our pay cut. So it was kind of a, do I stay or do I try something? So I said, man, I was doing wholesale work for about 30 other jewelry stores. I was doing all their repair work and custom work. So I had built this following, that I could kind of lean on. So I opened up a small little repair custom shop. That I did that for about 2.5 years. Then this location that we're in currently opened up. And I was like, man, this is where it's going to happen. This is where we're going to build Jackson Gray. It's going to be as established level of customer service that I've never seen in my past. And so it just kind of stuck. But literally, you're working 6-7 days a week, 18-hour days. If you're not a grinder, then you'll get grinded out just by trying to make and establish those relationships, the connections with vendors and clients. You really have to have a mutual understanding that, or not a mutual understanding, but a positive understanding that without relationships and being able to connect to customers, be accountable to vendors, this industry relies on your word and your trust. And you might be the best jeweler and craftsman producing the highest end quality stuff, but if you don't have that relationship and being able to connect with people, then people might not get it.
Definitely nailed it. There's a lot of trust. You definitely got to be a grinder. And are you guys retail or is it appointment only?
So we were never appointment only. We're retail. Right now we're Monday through Friday. For the last 10 years, we were Monday through Saturday, and it was just nonstop. I've got a shop at my home. So I'm even at home in the evenings when my kids are done, man, I'm right back at it. And it's been like that all my life. But right now, basically we're Monday through Friday, Saturdays by appointment only. And then the last Saturday of the month, we do stay open that day for clients to easily pick up their stuff and go from there.
Well, I appreciate you sharing that. So let's go in um, a little bit more into the business as far as what are you guys doing different with the experience? I know, Chad, that you're obviously passionate about what you guys do. So just a little bit really quickly on what's the difference there,
As far as on our store in general,
customer experience or anything like, you know.
yeah. I think this, we utilize a lot of different things technology wise with our POS system, with our ways that we communicate with our clients. Mind you, there's just two of us, myself and my employee. And so our phones are synced up to our text line. And I'm the biggest advocate to where if someone needs to reach out to me at any time, I make it a mission to where I respond to them within an hour. And there's times where my wife is like, dude, it's 3 a.m. I'm like, I've got clients all around the country. And if someone is awake and they are thinking about jewelry, then they must have had a crazy busy day. And now is the only time that they had a chance. Well, I'm going to strike while they're thinking about it. They're thinking about me. It doesn't do well for my sleep. But in the same token, what can you do to make sure that you are readily available? Especially in a world where, man, all you got to do is scroll. You can swipe. You can move on to the next mindset of things. I'm in the same boat. You know what I mean? So what you need to do to gain someone's attention and keep it, that's a major play.
Is I'm actually really glad you brought that up. So, and we'll kind of segue into that because it's kind of a double-edged sword with most of the jewelers. And this is actually true in almost all businesses. Actually, the strength is that the CEO is the quarterback and he's the leader, and the weakness is that he's the quarterback. And guess what? He can't not show up, or the whole entire team falls off. So
Yeah,
creating this personal, customized, hands-on experience, but also being able to run an efficient business and leverage technology and things like that. Well, the good part is that both are possible right now. And I've interviewed a lot of good guys on here. John Carter, Jack Lewis Jewelers. He does really well with that. I mean, he's grown a lot, but they still have that. He said the same thing you said. You pick up the phone and all that good stuff. And but there's kind of some ways to fill in some of those
sure.
gaps, automation,
Absolutely.
technology, and things like that. So let's go actually segue right into that question. I'd love to know what you think. Um, the jewelry business is going to look like in the next 5 years.
In the next 5 years, I still feel confident about it. We've got metal prices that are at historic highs right now. So I think a lot of people are kind of concerned on what we're able to do. Where it hinders things currently is, I think, on the ability of being as creative as you want. In the 90s and early 2000s, metal prices weren't so crazy expensive, and it was really an artist time where you could be creative. But I think it's still, still in that balance of what's going on with lab diamonds, natural diamonds. Clients are 10 times more educated, whatever they're educated consumers with whatever it is they're buying: watches, diamonds, gemstones. I think if you end up maintaining a foothold, that you are an authority in this industry, then they're always going to look to you for advice.
Sure.
So in the next 5 years, I plan on being here. The store is named after my two sons, Jackson and Grayson. So I'm hoping that they kind of lean into it as well. They're young; they're 15 and 12 right now. So they got it. The old one better start. He's got some work cut out for him. But it's just one of those things where I still find it's a personal relationship that you're building with your clients. And there's always going to be a need to give someone who appreciates jewelry that special item that then creates an heirloom. So whether it's 5 years, 10 years, it's not like this is going to go away, and it's just a matter of specializing what your ability is.
Absolutely. I think there's definitely a lot of revolving conversations and issues in the business that may pivot some things. Um, we talk about lab grown and naturals a lot on here. I get a lot of perspective. I also gather usually what are the percentage of sales going in and out of the retail. So I kind of gather that
Sure.
information. It's different. Some
Yeah.
guys are better than others, but it tends to be around 20 to 30% right now. Some people
Yep.
know how to train their staff off of it, some don't. But speaking of the future, well, I'll ask probably two more questions or so, something like that. But the next one is just, obviously you're reputable. You've been doing this for a really long time, and you probably do a lot of referral business and good old boy business, people that just trust you for what you
Yeah.
do and the quality of work. But have you guys leveraged technology, digital marketing in any way to bring new customers into the retail store?
Absolutely. I work with a firm where they really, I can think, capitalize on the Google platforms. For us, it works out amazing. You're right in the fact that our word of mouth, because I worked in Chicago, Atlanta, Los Angeles, San Francisco, I've got a vast, network of clients around the country. But that's even with that, you still have to rely on the day to day. We do lean heavy on our Google space, Google platforms. Currently, we're in a small store, small location, little suburb area. I think our kind of current number is we pull in anywhere between 50 and 75 new clients a month. And I think about 85% of that is all stemming from Google. People have that device in their hand. And a lot of times I found that Hey man, where do you get your car detailed at? I've got some personal issues. Who do I go to for legal issues? Right. Jewelry's a little different. Jewelry's kind of that, it's like sometimes people don't want to disclose who their personal jeweler is. They keep it close to them because they've really built that trust. Then it's like, as soon as they get a new piece, then it's like, oh man, we went to Jackson Gray. This is amazing. It was an amazing experience, but they kind of keep it close, close knit a little bit. But always gaining those clientels, whether it be word of mouth or, reviews and things of that sort. It's huge now. It's huge.
Yeah, absolutely. And you pick the right platform. Google's definitely the place to start. A lot of people want to get out on social. Their friends can see them. That's not the army of shoppers that's going to come in looking
Correct.
for the repair. I'm in the doghouse. It's
Yeah.
Day.
Yeah.
I haven't done anything, so
Yeah.
you're in the right spot there. I love to hear that, especially if you have two kids, because those are the engines that continue to pay the business, whether you show up or not.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You turn them on and turn them off. So my last question is in regards to AI, and has the team learned anything about it, utilizing any AI in the business right now as far as like automation or design tools,
So it's a perfect. So we end up doing a lot of engraving, especially like laser engraving and things of that sort. We do a lot of CAD CAM work. We still do, old school fabrication as well. We dip our toes into it a little bit in the design aspect, primarily for that engraving sector. Again, there's just two of us and there's only, 12 hours in a day that we can grind this stuff out, man. And you can tell by the color of my beard, man, some of the new technology is like, my kids can't get old enough and get in here fast enough. Like, help me out, man. But we really try to implement, what advancements can we do related to advertising? Clearly, with Chat GPT, you can write up some things and you can program your posts a little easier and things of that sort. And so you can be more productive and be more out there. But that's kind of where we've kind of stopped at that point currently. But I'm always going to be one of those guys where when I see something, I will take a bite. And if I like it and if it gets my interest, then let's get into it. So.
Absolutely. I think one of the main things I've learned in my AI courses in education is it's going to get ugly quick for some of the job markets for the small business owners. So one of the things we do is definitely help with AI training and things like that. But there's so many facets to it. The design is definitely a place for you to be there, but the other tools and the knowing how to use it the correct way is some pretty powerful stuff. It's pretty powerful stuff. So that's good. I would just, continue. It seems like you're the type of guy that wants to continue to learn and latch onto those things. So you're in the right area there. Lastly, I would just ask if you would like to share one last thought with the community or a piece of advice, or if you're looking for anything, or just want to say, hey man, if you need me, here's where I'm at. Here's my website. And, let them
Absolutely.
know.
Absolutely. Likewise. Again, I appreciate you having me on here. It's always, any platform where I can discuss what I'm passionate about, is always a good thing. I feel as though that a lot of people, they look online and they assume that they have all the information and insight that gives them the ability of making that decision on making an online purchase. We get asked all the time as the sounding board of like, hey, did I do okay? Did I do blah, blah, blah? If you build a relationship with your local jeweler, us at Jackson Gray, find a reputable old school jeweler that is really driving momentum into what they're doing. I think you'll find that you'll end up having a much better jewelry relationship, being a consumer, knowing that you're getting that valuable resource of trust. Really it. I can speak about a lot of other consumer products, but man, it's all I do. That's in my blood. And I look forward to helping anyone. If you have any questions, always feel free to hit us up on Instagram, Facebook at jacksongreatjewelers.com as well. And as always, I got clients that reach out to me. Man, they're on vacation and they see something. They'll hit me up with a text and say, "What do you think of this?" And I'll be like, "I got one. I'll sell you mine,"
Yeah.
But
I love it. I love it.
keep grinding.
So much. Thank you so much, Chad. Obviously, pleasure to meet you. You seem like a great dude. And guys, if you want to check them out, jacksongreatjewelers.com. It's been a pleasure, man. Look forward to building a relationship with you.
Likewise.
And, yeah, guys, go check them out.